welcome you inside the Gene Policini Center here on the campus of the Rochester Institute of Technology and home of the Tigers, where tonight conference play begins for the reigning Atlantic Hockey regular season champions as RIT welcomes Sacred Heart to town. Number 26 for RIT is Cody Leskowski. The senior forward from Camrose, Alberta, is off to a hot start thanks to a goal and an assist in the Tigers' shutout victory of the Irish last Saturday night. Good evening and welcome to RIT Hockey pregame live here on the RIT Sports Network. Well, following a season opening loss at St. Lawrence, the Tigers returned to town for their annual Brick City homecoming game last Saturday night against National Power Notre Dame. A sellout crowd downtown at the Blue Cross Arena for Notre Dame's first trip ever to Rochester. Less than 3 minutes in, all the Tigers on the power play, and you don't let John Franco Casero wind up from there. It's automatic. JoJo's first of the season put the Tigers up 1-0 early. Just under 8 minutes to play in the opening period. Tigers on the attack again. Carter Wilkie beating Ryan Bischel to make it 2-0 after one for Wilkie, his second goal of the season. It stayed that way until late in the second. Cody Leskowski rifling one home right there, his first of the year. RIT in front 3-0 at that point, but the story of last Saturday night was in the net for RIT. Tommy Scarfoni denying the Irish here. Oh, he denied them all night long. One of his 36 saves on the evening. Tigers win their fifth straight Brick City game with a convincing 3-0 victory over Notre Dame. As we look inside the numbers following RIT's first win of the season, the Tigers' special teams were a big story too. RIT killed all 6 of Notre Dame's power plays, including a full 5-on-3 and a 5-minute major. As for Scarfoni, he recorded his 6th career shutout, and for the 23rd time in his Tiger career, he posted at least 30 saves in the net. 37 saves last night for number 30. So the Tigers now turn their attention to conference play tonight, where they're picked to repeat as regular season champions, but they face a gauntlet the next few weeks, beginning with the team that was picked to finish second in the preseason Atlantic Hockey poll. With more on tonight's conference opener with Sacred Heart, our John DiTullio standing by live now with RIT head coach Wayne Wilson. Good evening, John.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much. Wayne, let's start with last week's game. When you look back, that's an impressive win after looking at the tape. What's your biggest takeaway from last Saturday's victory?
Well, goaltending and penalty killing were outstanding. Getting the first goal was big for us as well, and just playing with confidence. I mean, like I said, it wasn't unexpected. I mean, we're the underdogs and we're hopeful, but we split with them in their building just a couple of years ago, and we think our team's even better now. So, that was the result, and it wasn't easy, but really proud of the guys.
Now coming into tonight, it's Sacred Heart, a team that maybe you're not so familiar with, even though they're in your conference. They got a lot of new faces this year.
Yeah, we've kind of been on that cycle where we've only played them twice a year. We've also been in this transfer portal thing where they do bring in a lot of different players, so it's they're kind of one and done, the graduate students and things like that. So we're not as familiar as we were in past years when we played them 4 times, then got them in the playoffs for a best of 3, and you end up playing them 7 times in a year. So it's quite a down, but this is going to be a lot more intensity, I think, than even last weekend, in that it's league games and it's league points.
So what are the keys then for your team tonight against a team that, granted, a lot of graduate students?
Yeah, they've got good experience. They're well coached. They're just a good team, and we've had great matchups with them last year. 2 3-1 games, with the third goal being 1-goal game. So we've got to play within ourselves here. We can't give up a lot. We've got to be strong defensively, and then get into an offensive game. We've done a real good job of generating opportunities and scoring chances and capitalizing, and we got to continue with that as well.
Significance of not having Elijah in the lineup, maybe for some time, you don't know, but talk about not having him on the ice tonight.
Yeah, he's one of our captains and one of our grad students for ourselves here, and a lot of experience, a lot of skill there, so we're going to certainly miss him. It's an opportunity for someone else to step up, and we do really like our whole lineup, and it gives someone else an opportunity, unfortunately at the expense of an injury, and we'll see how long he'll be out for. He could be back next weekend, but it could be a little longer than that too.
Are you impressed how poised I am? Thinking, you got a big game tonight, but got a big one tomorrow. Are you impressed?
Yeah, you're 12 o'clock, I think, maybe 12:30 game tomorrow might be big for you on the football side of things.
Weekend sweep, RIT and Penn State.
Yeah, let's focus on the hockey. Let's focus on the hockey.
That is head coach Wayne Wilson. Kevin, let's send it back to you.
Oh, we're going to have our hands full with Johnny tomorrow. Thanks so much. Well, Sacred Heart finished third in the league standings a year ago, and once again, CJ Maritolo's program is expected to be among the top teams in Atlantic hockey, as I mentioned, this year. Maritolo and the Pioneers were out on the ice here at the Policini Center earlier this morning. Now, Sacred Heart opened the season last weekend on home ice with a pair of losses to visiting Colgate. It was an eye-opening weekend that gave Maritolo and his coaching staff plenty to address this week as they prepared for their conference opener against the Tigers.
Against Colgate. We have a lot of areas of our game after last weekend that we really needed to clean up, and I thought our guys really attacked it this week. Their mindset was good, and great bunch of guys to coach. They're a great group to be around. So hopefully we've done enough to, get off to a good start here tonight against RIT.
What's one thing your team has to do to get out of here with 6 points?
We have to defend harder. We did not defend hard enough last weekend. Credit goes to Colgate as well. But we have to play better without the puck. So that is our number one concern.
Yeah, the coach with a lot concerning him as they head into conference play. Now, CJ Maritolo also stressed to us this morning that even though it is early in the season, points matter, and his team cannot leave Rochester without any points like they did a year ago. Hey, in the net for RIT tonight will be the reigning Co-Atlantic Hockey Player of the Week, Tommy Scarfoni. The Montreal native was sensational last Saturday night, as we showed you, against Notre Dame. He stopped all 36 shots he faced to record his 6th career shutout. For Sacred Heart, CJ Maritolo is going to stick with his sophomore netminder, Chase Clark, the native of Williamsburg, New York, a suburb of Buffalo, and also a draft pick in the Washington Capitals. Started both games against Colgate last weekend. He allowed 9 goals in those 2 outings, hoping to be better here this night. Well, still to come on Pregame Live, RIT Associate Head Coach David Zalako will break down tonight's matchup with Sacred Heart. Plus, the RIT women's hockey team faced a big test last night up in Canton, New York. We'll show you how the Tigers fared against 11th ranked St. Lawrence. But first, number 21 for RIT is Carter Wilkie, the reigning Atlantic Hockey Player of the Year, currently leads the Tigers in scoring with 2 goals and an assist. The junior forward from Calgary will join our Kim Coffey live next as our coverage rolls on from the Gene Policini Center here at RIT. It's the Tigers and Sacred Heart Pioneers at 7:05. This is Pregame Live on the RIT Sports Network. Here on Pregame Live. What a night last Saturday night downtown. The Corner Crew, the pep band rocking the Blue Cross Arena. Oh, they're ready to kick things off here at the Coliseum here tonight as the Tigers not only open conference play, but it's also their home opener here this evening against Sacred Heart. In Atlantic hockey tonight, only one other conference matchup as Robert Morris will host Holy Cross. Tigers visit the Crusaders next weekend. Canisius wraps up its series with Michigan State. The Griffs lost in East Lansing last night 6-3. AIC visits Penn State. Bentley hosts Stonehill. And later tonight, Air Force is at Alaska Anchorage. Well, he has had a tremendous career at RIT so far. In his first 2 seasons, he's been named Atlantic Hockey Rookie of the Year and Atlantic Hockey Player of the Year. And he's off to a great start in year number 3. Our Kim Coffey is standing by live now with Carter Wilkie, who's just off the ice for warm-ups here tonight. Kimmy?
Carter, big expectations for this team heading into the season, not only for the team, but you individually, named Atlantic Hockey Player of the Year for the preseason. Leading the team in points right now, what do you attribute that early success to so far this season?
Got great line mates and great guys around me. It's a really good squad we have here, and that's the biggest thing we're all focused on. Personal accolades can be whatever, but we want to come out with a championship, and the guys in that room all know what we're fighting for, and personal accolades will come, but we're focused on big wins, and like tonight especially, we're wanting to beat Sacred Heart, and that's our mission.
Big win last week. Technically, it was a home game. You're at the Blue Cross Arena, but now you're back home in your regular locker room on home ice. Feeling a little bit more comfortable tonight?
Yeah, hopefully we stay away from the stripes a little bit more and not get some penalties as much as we did last time. But it's definitely nice being back in the G. And obviously, we got the corner crew, the band all pumping. It's a little different than Blue Cross for sure, but this is our home, and we like to defend our home, so it's nice.
First Atlantic hockey matchup of the season. What are you expecting to see from the Pioneers tonight?
They're going to come out and want to get us. We were ranked #1 originally going into the season. We want to keep that standpoint and prove to them we're going to have it, but they're going to come at us hard and fast, and we're ready to do it and almost one-up them in the entire game.
Carter, thanks so much and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Kevin?
All right, Kim, thank you so much. Meanwhile, the RIT women's hockey team is off to its best start in a while. The Tigers headed into last night's matchup at 11th-ranked St. Lawrence, unbeaten in 6 of their last 8 games. We have the highlights for you. Tigers looking for a signature win at Appleton Arena last evening. First period, Saints struck quickly. Su-Yan Am poking the rebound in front, past Sarah Coe to give St. Lawrence the early 1-0 lead. Still in the first, Tigers turn it over in their own zone, and the Saints, they make them pay. Abby Hustler scores. It was 2-0 St. Lawrence after 1. Second period, though, St. Lawrence looking for more on the power play, but Sarah Coe had a big period. She had a big night, making one of her 12 saves in the period right here. She had 37 stops on the night and kept the Tigers in this one throughout the evening. Third period, Tigers, though, cutting a lead to 1. Thanks to senior forward Nicole Ness, who scored her second of the season right there. But the Tigers could not get the equalizer in Canton last night. They fall on the road to the 11th-ranked St. Lawrence Saints by a final of 2-1. We're happy to be joined now by the captain of the RIT women's hockey team, senior forward Lindsay Maloney, joining us from the green room. Lindsay, tough not to get the victory on the road last night, but once again, this team battled and held its own against the 11th-ranked team in the country. What positives do you take away from last night?
Yeah, I think it just kind of shows us we can play with anyone. You know, I thought we came out a little flat in that game yesterday. We didn't start playing our Tiger hockey game until the end of the second, third period. But I think overall just gives us confidence that we can skate with anyone.
Yeah, you're now 4-3-2 on the season. There seems to be a different vibe with this team this year, maybe an air of confidence as a captain. How would you describe this year's team?
Yeah, I think we got a lot of speed, a lot of talent. We're just super excited. Obviously, a great start to this season. Having a #4 country come play us and playing competitively against them gave us a lot of confidence. And then, obviously, the sweep against Union. So we're really excited for conference play coming up. So continue to work hard in practice and get better.
Yeah, we'll talk about conference play in just a moment, but first we got to talk about your goaltender. Sarah Coe has been solid in the net for you guys since she arrived on campus 3 years ago. Last night, 37 saves. She keeps you guys in games. Knowing she's back there, does that allow you to take more chances and maybe play more freely?
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah is obviously an amazing goaltender for us, and I think most of all, she just gives us confidence, like you kind of said, like lets us be free. We can count on her to make big saves, and yeah, just gives the team confidence to play our game.
Lindsay, you mentioned that conference play begins next week after finishing the past few years in last place. Do you feel this is a team that can contend in the CHA right now?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the message in the locker room is like we have everything to prove right now. So if we stick to our Tiger hockey game, really focusing on playing 60 minutes of great Tiger hockey, I think we're going to have a very good year this year.
Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck next weekend and throughout the season, and we'll be talking to you guys and following you all season long. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on Pregame Live. All right, next weekend, we talked about it, the RIT women's hockey team beginning conference play here on home ice. Tigers will host Lindenwood on Friday, October 27th, Saturday, October 28th as well. You can catch our coverage on flowhockey.tv or join us at the Policini Center by grabbing your seats right now at RITtickets.com. Well, last weekend's homecoming festivities coincided with the annual RIT Hall of Fame inductions. And for the first time in the 54-year history, the entire class of 2023 was comprised of women honorees, including the only women's team to ever bring home a national championship.
10 seconds.
Winning a national championship at any level, in any sport, is a memory that never fades.
And the Rochester Institute of Technology Tigers will be your 2012 NCAA Division III Women's Hockey Champions.
It's one of those moments that you look back on and you almost feel like you blacked out for a minute, because it was like those last 10 seconds everyone just paused, or maybe it was the last three seconds and we all throw our gloves in the air and you make that dog pile, and it's one of those things is like, did this really just happen?
I think for me, even now, it's just a surreal moment, and going back to that game, we knew we wanted it so bad. And I can remember at the end of the game, us all screaming and jumping on top of each other and just realizing what we had just done. It was just an amazing feeling.
You can't really describe it. Just all of like your hard work that you've done that year. It just feels like, okay, it was worth it. And just that one moment, it was incredible.
The Tigers were on a mission that season after a heartbreaking loss in the national championship game at Ritter Arena the year before.
They always say you either win or you learn. And the year before we learned. And you not dwell on it, but you remember that day and, you know, what did we do and what can we fix? And they learned the hardest lesson is just showing up sometimes doesn't get it done.
We took that really hard and took it personally. We had worked really hard that year as well, and we thought we would be able to pull it off. The fact that we lost to Norwich and we did have that opportunity again, there was no chance we were going to let that slip away again.
The 2012 championship closed the Division III era on the highest of highs and helped pave the way for the jump to Division I.
It's really that group meant everything. They built the foundation that this Division I program now is built upon. They led us into the transition. The leadership from this team and everything we experienced that year of, you got to learn how to win too. That is a skill, just like skating, shooting, passing. Learning how to win is a skill. And these the ladies on the team really, like, this is what we do. This is RIT hockey.
They're still the only women's sport to ever win a national championship at RIT. And now they join exclusive company as members of the RIT Athletics Hall of Fame.
You know, ultimately we play for the crest on our sweater, and to be a Tiger, RIT supports its student athletes like none other. It's an insanely special place to not only be a student, but to grow up when you're 18 or 22 and learn about yourself. But yeah, I think we're all sort of blown away, and it'll sink in a little bit, but we're joining an unbelievable company, so we're just grateful to be there.
Yeah, congratulations to the 2012 women's hockey team and former women's basketball standout Jessica Glass on joining the RIT Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2023. Well, still to come. Here on Pregame Live, we'll flash back to the 2022 Atlantic Hockey Playoffs in a thriller between the Tigers and Pioneers. Plus, Associate Head Coach Dave Insalacco will join us with his scouting report on Sacred Heart. It's all straight ahead on your home for Tiger hockey. This is Pregame Live on the RIT Sports Network.
Tigers in transition as Laskowski fighting his way ahead. Raby trying to get around Aiden Hansen-Bacana. Raby going in. Raby shot. Saved by Scarfoni. What more can we say about Tommy Scarfone? 5:52 remaining in the second. Sacred Heart now applying pressure in front. All alone. Save made by Scarfoni. And it's clear. Woo. Putting his stick to the ice was Nicholson. Here's Kobe Walker. Does not have the numbers, but makes a good move.
There you go.
Walker going in. The shot, the rebound. He scores. He scores. We are tied at 1. Kobe Walker. Even strength, and then coming away with it. Here's Wilkie. Wilkie on the break. Carter Wilkie for the go-ahead goal. No. Penalty called.
Yes.
But no, it's not going to be a penalty shot as Barry sends it. Possession still being maintained by the Tigers. In front. Shot. Carter Wilkie. 2-1 RIT. Calverley, far side. Take it. Hammaker shot. Walker good. Willett shot. Scores. Scores. Dan Willett. 3-1 RIT. And the RIT Tigers rally in this game. The Tigers moving on to the Atlantic Hockey semifinal with a 3-1 win.
Yeah, the Tigers eliminated Sacred Heart back in the 2022 Atlantic Hockey quarterfinals. RIT went on to lose in the semifinals to Air Force that season. Overall, the Tigers lead the Division I series with Sacred Heart with a record of 33-16-2, and they've won 7 of the last 10 meetings. RIT hasn't won a conference championship since 2016, but Sacred Heart's still looking for its first. They finished as the runner-up in 04 to Holy Cross, and in 2010, of course, to the Tigers. Welcome you back inside the Gene Policini Center here at RIT, where you're watching RIT Hockey pregame live on the RIT Sports Network, presented by Taylor the Builders. Well, the next few weeks will be a measuring stick for the Tigers as they will face 2 of the teams picked to finish in the top 4 in Atlantic Hockey this season. Next week, they'll visit Holy Cross, the team that ended their year last year in March. This weekend, they get Sacred Heart, a team RIT has beaten in 5 of their last 6 meetings. Joined now by John and Gene, who will have the call for us here tonight. And what better way to kick off the Atlantic Hockey portion of the schedule than with a marquee matchup between 2 of the best in the league, guys?
Yeah, we're starting this off big. Good evening, Kevin. Good evening, John. We say good evening to Dave Insulaka ringside, and give us an idea of the Sacred Heart team, Dave, because certainly we know some of the players, but certainly looks like they brought in a lot through the portal. What did they bring in through the portal here?
Challenge tonight for our group.
Dave, how much of momentum or how much can you take away from last weekend's game?
I couldn't quite hear you, Gene. Dan, I apologize.
Dave.
Or John.
How much can last week's game carry over to this week?
You know, that's a good question. I think it was good from a confidence standpoint, but we need to turn the page and move on. That should be in the rearview mirror by now. We have a tough opponent at Sacred Heart, and that's where our focus should be. And you know as well as I that our league is very difficult and very challenging. So, you know, this game tonight will be a good test for our group.
Yeah, last one. Chase Clark, give us an idea what you're looking for tonight here for your team going against the Sacred Heart goaltender.
Oh, he's a good goalie. Obviously, he's drafted in the NHL by the Washington Capitals. He's big at 6'6". He moves well, and he can stop the puck. So we got to get a lot of shots on him and get to those dirty areas and hope to bang home some rebounds.
Dave, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.
Good luck tonight.
I apologize. I just couldn't hear you guys, but go Nittany Lions tomorrow.
Dave, yes, sir. We're winning now, buddy. Look at that. See the support? That's family.
That's my apology. I'll see you guys later. I got to get going.
Buddy.
Take care.
All right.
You see that?
Yeah.
We're winning tomorrow. It's going to be a sweep. Penn State wins, and RIT gets the brooms. A Zamboni Sacred Heart now, buddy. Come on.
Sacred Heart, a lot of new players.
Yeah.
Take a look at our players to watch. Back for another year, Braden Tuck.
It's how many years has he been here?
Well, this is year 5.
Oh, okay.
7, man.
Well,
Feels
no,
like 7, yeah.
No, it's 5. It's unbelievable. But what a treat. I'm glad he is back. Just a great two-way player. Looking forward to seeing number 23 once again for the Pioneers.
Yeah, he was the Atlantic Hockey Rookie of the Year back in 2019.
Okay.
Now, for the RIT Tigers, boy, they got it started last week with JoJo Casero. How is it that teams can't defend that shot on the power play?
You know where he's going to be. It's on the power play. He's going to pinch. I mean, it's unbelievable. Watch some tape of RIT. You'll see number 10 where he likes to set up on the power play. He's off to a great start. Heard there were a lot of scouts last week in the game. In fact, 10 NHL scouts inside the building. Got a lot of interest. That's what I was told. JoJo getting interest.
Kevin, we send it back to you. We'll be back in a second. 7:05 puck drop.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. After a short break, we'll wrap things up from here next. This is Pregame Live. Told you we'd be back quick, back here on Pregame Live. Tomorrow we are here with you for the series finale between the Pioneers and Tigers. Our coverage begins with Pregame Live at 4:30, followed by Face-Off at 5:05 right here on flowhockey.tv. There are plenty of tickets still available for tomorrow night's game, so come on out to the Policini and join us. Tickets start as low as $6 for kids 12 and under and are available by visiting or calling the box office, or grab your seats right now online at rittickets.com. Well, that'll do it for Pregame Live. If you're watching us on rithathletics.com or the RIT Athletics app, our coverage continues on flowhockey.tv. RIT Sacred Heart begins right now.